So I've lived in Oxford now for about 3 months, and since then I've kind of got settled into the young professional culture and whatever. And having been here for 3 months, like I say, there's one thing that I've really noticed about the culture among people my own age, and that is that we're all very focused on health. You know, like there are lots of yoga gyms in Oxford. Everyone's very into, exercise, going for runs, going swimming, going to the gym, stuff like that. Not spending lots of time going to the pub, going to bed early, stuff like that. And it's very interesting. And I don't think this is something that's just unique to Oxford. I think it's something that is a wider thing that's happening in my generation. I think a lot of my generation are really adopting a much more healthy lifestyle and kind of distancing themselves from all the partying and the drinking and stuff like that, and just being very healthy, getting up very early, exercising, doing all these sort of positive habits. And why is this? It's interesting because I don't think this is something that my parents' generation did. Like when I talk to my parents, people like who are older, when they talk about what they were doing when they were younger, it's very different. Like their lifestyle was very unhealthy. Like not much focus on eating healthily, not much exercise, not going for runs. The idea of going to the gym wasn't really a big thing. People weren't going to bed early. There was a lot more kind of going out drinking, stuff like that. So it's very interesting that my generation have really adopted this sort of healthy lifestyle because it's different from our parents. And the question is, like, where has this come from? Why are we acting like this? And to be honest, what I think it comes down to is the COVID lockdowns. So whether this was intentional or not, I do think the fact that we all spent a long time locked in our rooms over COVID, really did something quite profound to us. And it's interesting because COVID kind of went away overnight almost. The vaccines came out and it pretty much completely disappeared. And we've forgotten about it quite quickly. But I think it's easy to underestimate how much of an impact that time had on us. And I think some of that time period explains why we're in the situation now, why people are so health centred. Because I think basically what it was is we're all locked in our own houses and we couldn't socialise anymore. We couldn't do all the stuff that we'd normally do socially. So we had to look for kind of other avenues to enjoy ourselves. And we started pursuing just health related stuff. There was a big health craze in lockdown. People were starting to go for runs all the time, and sharing it on Strava, and people would do a fitness journey during lockdown, and stuff like that. So and I think that's where it really started. And yeah, I think we came out of lockdown and we were just used to this new lifestyle that we built for ourselves, of kind of throwing away the sort of unhealthy habits of partying and drinking and embracing the more healthy stuff, like going for runs and going for eating healthily, going to bed early, stuff like that, just because it was what we're used to doing now. And it's very interesting. Now, why am I making this video? Why am I saying this? Well, the thing I think is, I actually think there is a negative side to this. And the negative side is, even though all these healthy habits are great to do, they're actually quite boring, and if it's all you're doing with your life, then you're not a very interesting person. I think this is the danger that our generation is falling into, is we're not very interesting. A lot of us are quite boring because we're not doing anything exciting or interesting anymore. We just got obsessed with this kind of healthy lifestyle, and doing the good morning routine and going for a nice healthy run, and then going to bed early and all this stuff, and this has taken. I get this stuff's important, whatever, but it's taken I think too much of a precedent, to the point where we're just gonna have no stories to tell our grandkids when we get older. It's just gonna be like, oh, what did you do when you were in your 20s? It's like, I just went to work and then I did lots of healthy stuff during the day, and that was about it. Then I went to bed early, and it's kind of, there are no good stories there. There's no real insightful, interesting story where you learn something about yourself from going on a run. You know, I mean, I get it. You know, if you train for like a marathon or you go through a fitness journey or something, you get some kind of ego-burning experience that's really beneficial for you. But most people, if you're just going for like that's not what most people are doing, you know. And I just think we need stories to tell our grandkids, and we're not going to have any the rate we're going at if we don't start doing stuff that's more interesting. And it's funny because, like, I'm not saying it's good to like live this kind of unhealthy lifestyle where you're constantly going out partying, you're constantly drinking, you know, you're constantly going clubbing and stuff like that. But, you know, at least then you've got some stories to tell people. You know, at least then you've got like, you've done something interesting with your weekend. You know, you can, even if it is just like, oh, do you remember that weekend where we went out clubbing and we got in a fight with someone? You know, I'm not saying it's a good story to say. I'm not saying that that's the best thing to do with your time, to go out clubbing all the time. But I just feel like it's better than what we've got. You know. So anyway, yeah, it's easy to be a critic, right? But what's the solution? Well, as far as I see, the thing we need to do basically is to work on finding stuff that is purposeful and interesting. We need to build stuff that is bigger than ourselves. That's the issue with all this health related stuff, is it stops with the individual. It just becomes almost like another form of hedonism, because you're just chasing that next healthy run, that you know, that runner's high, or that next you know, cold swim or whatever. And there's nothing beyond that. There's no broader meaning to life than just that. So yeah, your mission really is like basically to find your purpose in life. That's what you need to do. And I mean, I'll just give you my example. So what I've been doing for the past year is just making stuff on social media, basically, like making YouTube videos, like self-improvement videos, making travel videos and stuff like that. And this has given me stories to tell people. You know, it's given me something interesting to do. It's given me more of a purpose to my life than just being healthy. You know what I mean? Like, you can see the Belgian flag behind me. I'm in Belgium at the moment. And yeah, I've just been making content for the past few days, and it's been interesting. You know, I've met people, I've created something that people can look at and watch that transcends myself. And look, it's really hard to find what that purpose is, whatever it is, to fill your life with meaning. But I think you need to find it, and when you find it, you need to prioritize it over the healthy habits. And I'm not saying don't do the healthy habits as well. Don't, you know, like, honestly, when I'm at home, I'll still go to the gym, I'll still go for a run, I'll eat healthily, I'll get up early, stuff like that. But I recognise that ultimately the really important thing is, like, I've got a mission, I've got a purpose, and I've got something that I'm doing with my life, and I'm making experiences and learning from them, and I'm making stories that I can tell people about in the future. And yeah, that's what I want for other people as well, basically. So thanks for watching, guys, as always. And yeah, if you click the top link in the description, I'm doing some coaching at the moment. If you're interested in this kind of thing, finding your purpose and stuff like that, it'd be really great to hear from you. And I'll see you in the next video.